it was interesting, right? We started seeing a change in a lot more of cartel control on the south, on the Mexican side. So that kind of started pushing some of the influence of where they were going to come through. And then, we noticed that the price to cross started increasing in the late 90s, early 2000s. And I think that adds to the aggressiveness because they're dealing with, bad actors, right? The cartel is you want to cross through here, you're going to have to pay.
Right. So now there's a different energy coming over. It's not just a guy coming over to pick peaches or to be a part of like kind of sharecropping, I guess, type of vibes. It's somebody who's paid a cartel. Can you expound a little bit more on that? Like the cartels start to recognize there's a business in letting people cross through the land on the Mexican side.
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. So people were still coming to look for work, right? And still going to do some of that, field work. But now they had to pay somebody to cross. So now they're like, hey, I don't want to lose the $1,000 I paid to come through this area. Now I'm going to be a run. So I think that kind of increased some of the aggressiveness because, look, or they may have been threatened. And so now it's like, hey, I just paid to come through here. Now Border Patrol is about to arrest me. I'm running or I'm fighting because if I have to go back, then I'm going to have to pay again. Wow. We started seeing that dynamic. And I think that may have been, aside from just youth in general across the world, we're getting a little more, you had more TV, you had more shows, we still hadn't had the onset of internet and things like that yet. But I think that was the shift. And then, obviously we can talk about the cartel because that is a big business. Yeah,
but just to interject, so that was because when you say that people were having to pay to come, they were having to pay a cartel.
Yes, yeah. There is a plaza boss in every area along the border, right? It's run by the bigger cartels. So, if you want to cross near Palomas, Mexico, which was near my area, you're going to have to pay a plaza boss. So if you're going to come through here to work your way to a small farming community in New Mexico, and you had to pay, you don't want to have to go back because you're going to pay again.
Now you got skin in the game.
Yeah, or even worse, if you didn't pay and you snuck in around the plaza boss and you get returned back, the plaza boss is going to say, "Hey, wait a second, I don't remember you paying me."
Yeah.
And that could cost them their lives because, the cartel is pretty ruthless, The cartel, and I'll use the cartel and smuggling organization interchangeable. I mean, the cartel is the hierarchy. They're the ones, the big boss, and each one of them they're commodity neutral. Whether it's people or things, they're going to smuggle it and pay for it, whatever.
Okay, and they own kind of plaza space along the, what'd you call it?
The plaza boss was somebody that owned like the area near the crossings where people are going to cross.
And they may not own the land, but they're the mafia there.
Yeah, that's basically it. Right?
Okay.
Difference is it's the cartel really has got huge influence over the so much. But to those bullets,
right? It's a real mafia, not like our mafia. Who's a couple.
So
guys,
I used to kind of compare the two, but the mafia back in the day here in the United States, you wouldn't need a military to take it out. Where the cartel is well armed and well financed to handle things, and police officers are not going to go take out the cartel, right?
Right.
But those three bullets, in kind of paraphrasing that, is number one, the rhetoric that goes on in our political and media sphere in the United States.
When you say rhetoric, what do you mean?
Oh, they're asylum seekers. We need to do this. We need to, the false choices of you're either for border security or you're anti-immigrant or you're for immigration. That means you're an open border person. No. So the bad guys are listening to all this, right?
Right.
So they hear this. Oh, asylum seeker. Okay. This is going to be our marketing point. I'm going to charge you whatever I charge you.
I'll give you the information. I'll tell you what things to answer and say.
And then you clog the system up. And since there's no room at the end, in other words, there's no place to detain them once we've caught them, they get released. And that's what they want because they're in the United States. They are going to find work. Generally, it's going to be below board. That third bullet is the one that should concern every one of us. If we're really going to make this a humanitarian issue, which it really is the human traffickers.